Hey guys, welcome to the 188th C# tutorial that I'm making for the new Boston. And in this tutorial, we're going to continue working on our reader class. And really all that we're going to be doing here is just reading different data types. So let's just jump right into it here. The first data type that we're going to be reading is a byte. So we're just going to say public byte since we want it to return a byte that is read. And I'm just going to call this method readByte since that's what we're going to be doing. So readByte. Alright. And all we're going to have it do is just read a byte at the current position and then return it. So we're just going to say right here, return br.readByte. Alright, so you're probably thinking, well, this is stupid. Why are we even creating a reader class if we're just using the binary readers class and it's returning whatever it reads? Well, you're partially right. For this method, we don't really have to do anything, but for all the other methods that we're going to be doing, for all the other data types that we're going to be reading, for signByte, for all the integers and stuff, we're going to have to change how the method works and what it does. It's going to be different than the binary reader class. Alright, so what you're going to probably want to do here is just give a nice summary of what this method actually does. Now, I'm not going to do that out for every method, but one thing that you're going to want to remember is whenever it reads a value, it advances the current position by 1. So if the current position of the binary reader right now is like 100, and it read another byte, it would be 101. Alright, and you should probably say that in your summary. Alright, so the next data type that we're going to be reading is a signed byte, or an S-byte. So we're just going to say public S-byte, or a signed byte, and then we're just going to call this method read S-byte, since that's what we're going to be doing, reading a signed byte at the current position. And then we're just going to say return br.readByte. Alright, well we can't just say br.readByte since this will just return a regular byte. We actually have to turn it into a signed byte. And we're just going to cast it as a signed byte, so we're just going to say S-byte right there. And I'll just convert the byte that it returns, the regular byte that it returns, into a signed byte. Alright, and like I said, you're just going to want to probably have a summary of what this method actually does. Okay, now we're going to want to get into reading the integers. So the first integer type that we're going to be reading is an int16, or a short. So we're just going to say public short, since we're going to be reading an int16, and short and int16 are the same. And then we're just going to call this method read int16. And we're not going to need the user to pass through any parameters, so we're just going to leave that blank. Alright, so we're just going to say right here, short my short equals br.read and then an int16. And remember, the binary reader defaultly reads integers in little endian. So inside of the file, if there was an int16 or a short right there that was just like 78, 65 or something, it would read 65, 78, and that's not what we want. So since it's defaultly big endian, we're going to want to check to see if the byte order is big endian, and if it is, we're going to want to reverse it. So let's say right here that it read this value as an int16. So it would have read 6578 since it defaultly reads it in little endian. And what we're going to want to do is reverse it. So it will actually read 7865. So we're just going to say right here byte array buff equals bit converter dot get bytes. And that would be from that short right there, so my short. And then we're just going to want to reverse this array. So we're just going to say array.reverse, and then we're just going to want to reverse that buff right there, that buffer. And then we're going to want to say my short equals bit converter.to, and then int16. So it's going to convert this byte array buffer back into an int16. So we're just going to want to put buff in here. And then as the second parameter, just the index in the byte array that we wanted to start reading at or start converting at, and that would just be 0. Alright, so basically what this does right here is it converts this short right here into a byte array. So now this byte array reads 6578. And basically we want it to reverse that byte array so that now it reads 7865. And now we're just converting that byte array back into a short. So now this byte array, short should read 7865. So just the way it should be in big endian. but we only want it to reverse it if the way that the user wants us to read is big endian. So we're going to say if byte order equals byte order dot big endian, then we're going to do this. Well, otherwise, just leave it be, because it defaultly reads it in little endian. And then we're just going to want to return that short right there. So return my short. Alright, and then you're going to want to do this for all of the integers, and I'm not going to go through every single one of them, because it's just a matter of changing the types. So if we were to do read uint16 right here, we would just say read uint16, ushort, my ushort, and then we're just going to want to read a uint16 instead of a regular int16. We have to change all these to my ushort, and then you have to convert it into a uint16. So it's basically just changing everything that has to do with a data type into the different ones. So we just changed everything that had to do with an int16 into a uint16 or an unsigned int16. And you're going to want to do that for int16, int32, and an int64. In the next tutorial, I'll have those all done, so you should too. Alright, so see you guys.